The Milwaukee Bucks are making their play to keep Giannis Antetokounmpo and win a title. Last night, the team traded for Jrue Holiday and Bogdanovic, sending off Eric Bledsoe, George Hill, Dante DiVincenzo, plus 3 first-rounders. Giannis's contract is up at the end of the season, Tony. So do you think these moves, these changes, will do enough to prevent him from leaving?
So what they've done is they've said, we made a mistake letting Malcolm Brogdon go. We'll try and replicate him with Jrue Holiday. We'll bring in Bogdanovic, who's a good shooter, 37% from 3, average 15 points a game off the bench, take a little pressure off Chris Middleton. And as you say, the moves are designed to keep Antetokounmpo there. I watch sports on television. I see people say, and I'm quoting them now, oh, Giannis loves it in Milwaukee. Oh, Giannis doesn't want to leave Milwaukee. I have no idea how they have come to that conclusion. Why would somebody not listen to offers? Why would somebody not declare for free agency? Just tell me why they wouldn't do that.
Well, Tony, this is your philosophy of life all the time, that bigger and better places with bigger lights, brighter lights is always attractive to everyone. You and LeBron James seem to agree on that. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I know Giannis so well that I can predict what he's going to do. But I'm getting to know Giannis. I've gotten to know him a little bit, Tony. He's looking, if he can, to stay in Milwaukee. That is not the case for a bunch of people who are going to be free agents. Giannis is looking to do this because he also knows, Tony, the city of Milwaukee is changing. I'm not going to say radically, gradually, but around that arena, whose star attraction is Giannis. So the question isn't what you're asking. The question is, are they going to put a good enough team around him, and are these the changes necessary to make him say, I can win right here. I can challenge anybody. I don't have to go out in the second round if we have these players, and this is a start. Do you believe that? On a 1 to 10 scale, I'm about a 6.5 on that right now.
Okay, so I will say this. Here is their jeopardy. Holiday's a free agent at the end of this year. He can move. He can say, I don't want to be here anymore.
That's right. That's right.
Giannis can move and say, I want to entertain offers. And then they don't even have any first-round picks for the next 400 years to do anything to float that boat. A long, long time ago, they ought to win a championship this year, because a long, long time ago, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar delivered a championship, and then he said, okay, I gave you what you wanted. Let me out of here. And that's what happened to Milwaukee.
And of course, Tony, as a postscript, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Lou Alcindor, was a New York kid who went to college in Los Angeles.
That's right.
Giannis Antetokounmpo has a much different life. And so, again,
Mike,
I'm not going to say that I know what he's going to do, but I'm going to say,
does.
You know?
Nobody knows at the moment.
Nobody knows.
We'll stay with basketball, but we turn now to James Harden, who is going to be a staple on this show in upcoming days. Harden has reportedly turned down a 2-year extension from Houston that would pay him $103 million. And I will pause a second so that number can sink in. Now, Harden is still obliged to Houston for the next 2 seasons, but this tells you he wants out. Wilbon, what do you make of Harden turning down, $103 million?
Tony, there's a lot here. There's a whole lot going on with Houston and some things that James Harden clearly doesn't like. Some of it has to do with the team and what's going to be there. Russell Westbrook has asked out. Mike D'Antoni, not there anymore, right? And so Daryl Morey, not there anymore, who put together some teams that at least stayed in contention when James Harden was there. You know, he could go out and find the big star he wanted, whether it was Westbrook or Chris Paul, whomever. There's also political stuff that I'm told, and a lot of us are told, that James Harden isn't thrilled with. I'm not going to get too deep into that, but that seems to be the case as well. So if he feels, you know what, I can still go somewhere, I'm going to make $80 million or so over 2 years subsequently. So not signing up for 103, it's not the loss that it may sound like in headlines. But for basketball purposes, real life, personal purposes, it sounds like James Harden is saying, I don't know if I need to be here. Let me listen to some other things.
I don't know his politics at all. I don't know him at all. $103 million is generational wealth for the next 200 years for anybody with the name Harden. It's a tremendous amount of money. And it was a wow to me that he would do this. He's never won anything. But I want to get to the rest of Houston for a second. Houston at the moment is a dumpster fire. They got a new owner who came in a year or two ago and ran his yap about how he was smarter than everybody else. And here's what's happened. Mike D'Antoni is gone. Daryl Morey is gone. And the only two players anybody wants to watch now want out of there. Okay, so you're headed for Sacramento land in Houston. No one's going to pay any money to watch your team. It's a desert at some point. So congratulations on the purchase, Mr. Fertitta, because this thing has gone down the drain.
But, Tony, it doesn't have to. And by the way, $86 million, last I checked, if it was 86 or 88 or 9, that's generational wealth too, which is what he could pick up elsewhere. So he's going to have generational wealth. But, Tony, let me say this. If you made a trade and you got the pieces that really mattered to you from Brooklyn, a team that was in the playoffs, right, pre-Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, they've been in the playoffs. They've been competitive. And you supplant those players. Houston knows how far they're going to go with James Harden. Not all that far. Not to a championship. So don't tell me that if James Harden leaves Houston, it's all of a sudden Sacramento. I'm not buying that for a second. If the proper trade is, you're wrong.
Yeah.
If the proper trade is made. Now, how did Brooklyn get with those guys to the playoffs? Explain that to me.
Brooklyn had a coach that they fired, and they brought in two new guys, and you don't know what's going to happen in Brooklyn. He doesn't have to end up in Brooklyn. They own him for 2 years. They could send him to Lithuania to play with Lonzo Ball's bad brother, LiAngelo. They could do whatever they want. He has no leverage. They have leverage.
Oh,
Let's
he
take
has
a
leverage.
Break.
He has leverage.
Not as much as they do. They got him for 2 years. He's got a signed deal.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.